Hello, my friends. It is Wednesday, the 13th. It is noon of the hour, and I am drinking tea. I am sitting in a lot of different thoughts and feelings right now. It's been a super interesting week. Got lots of good stuff going on. And I am bringing all that to you. So this is our wrap up week. I always meant for this to be 6 weeks long, and 6 weeks long it is going to be. So I'm actually gonna travel next week. Huh? I'm going to travel safely. I may even do another hand washing video, so stay tuned for that. And but I got good things. I got good things cooking. Good things that are gonna really bring a lot of things to fruition about sustainable regional agricultural systems based on food manufacturing. I'm super excited about it. Super excited about it, and that is of course my work. That is of course my work, right? And so I want to, we've been through all of this with time together. Okay, I've been doing lives for I don't know 9 weeks or something like that, and I am in the final week of doing them these daily lives, and I wrapping it up by doing after action reports. And so you guys are watching me do the after action reports, and of course, work is for many of us. We can talk about weight, and we can talk about drinking, and we can talk about other addictions and money and all that sort of stuff. But for many of us, work defines who we are. Okay, I'm not really an exception to that. And except that I am, because I am developing the capability for work to challenge me to become the person the universe is calling me to be, right? So with my coach in August last year, and then in August the previous year, so for 2 years running I've done this. I don't know what's going to happen in August this year. We do the work on what our purpose is in the world. And I take this work to the power group, right? And we work pretty hard on purpose. I think we do it in November to get us ready for goal setting in December. And when we look at leadership through love, when I look at leadership through love, that is my purpose in the world. When I do my after action reporting, I actually look at it through the lens of, did I build myself in leadership through love? Did I develop my capabilities in leadership through love? Did my business grow through love today? And that looks like a lot of different things. I have been thinking very deeply, and for those of you who are in the power group, you heard about this on the call yesterday, about challenge and how we use challenge to grow. And for many of us, we spend 80% of our waking lives at work. And if you aren't challenged at work, you need bigger goals. Okay? I set gigantic goals for myself, guys. And I recognize not everybody needs to do that, and not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's cut out to be CEO. Okay? It's totally fine. Right? Even though I think it is the path for most people to realize who they are and what they are doing. And I think that it's incredibly important for you to realize what that looks like in your own life, and how you use work challenges to allow you to grow. Do you even have a purpose in life through which to use that lens? And it's okay if you don't. What better time than now to figure out what that purpose is? Try some on for size. My coach's purpose is to be an example of what's possible with her model, okay, which is the thought, feel, act cycle that I talk about, okay? There are other people who have different, I guess I know her purpose and I know my purpose, because those are the two ones she talks about hers and I talk about mine. And I'm not sure I hear a whole lot of whole lot of it from other people. But my purpose is to lead through love, okay? And leadership through love starts with me. And so in my after action process and in my process of iterative change, it always starts with me, and it always starts with understanding where I am and how I acted in the world, and did I act with intention? If my intention is to lead with love, did I act with intention? And I sat down yesterday night, so like it's fabulous, I'm not gonna lie. We all pile into bed together, and my husband reads to us, and we are reading the second in the Becca Cooper series by Tamora Pierce. And if you like fantasy fiction, highly recommend anything written by Tamora Pierce. And we all pile into bed, and in order to get my brain disconnected from work, or unplugged from work and plugged into the family and the kids and things like that, I write. Because that's the best way I know how. I don't know how to like move from this office right here to upstairs with the family and the cats and the dog and stuff like that, and stop all the thoughts that I go at lightning speed with in my office, to like slow down and really hear the kids where they are, except by writing. And so I pull out my journal and I start writing. And the question is that I'm working with right now, and these questions change, of course, is, did I live my intention today? And if I didn't, where didn't I live my intention? And so we start with, where did I live my intention today? As a matter of fact, you know what? I am going to change my after action reporting to, where did I live in my intention and where did I not live in my intention? And I am actually working on my September workbooks, and we are going to make that improvement for the September workbook. So fast my brain works, my friends. But that's what happens when you're used to doing iterative change, right? And so I was sitting down and I was like, where did I live in my intention? And I could think of all sorts of conversations I had yesterday where I was living in my intention, right? And I wrote all of those down. And then I had a couple of things yesterday, some interactions on social media, interactions with a vendor, where I wasn't living in my intention. But what I found super fascinating is I was able, when I was not living in my intention, I kept it, and this is novel. I kept it within the walls, like, of this office. Well, and my husband, who's downstairs. So, but I kept it within the confines of here. I didn't I didn't fire an email back. I didn't, do all of that stuff in urgency. And guys, that's like a major ass win for me, right? So much of my life has been lived in urgency, and now that I am talking about intention and asking myself, what is my intention here? I can pause. And like I've talked about, there's so much learning in that pause. And what that pause looks like and what it allows me to do. And that's amazing, okay? Because that pause allows me to say, what is my intention? And remember that I practice my intention. Guys, just the same way you would have to practice a violin, you got to practice your intention. Living in your intention is a learned and learnable skill. And if you've never tried it before, it is something like riding a bike. Okay? You got to get up on the bike and pedal and fall off and get back up on and fall, like, come on, we want things to be super easy, and live in our intention sounds super good. Living in your intention looks a lot like applying butt to chair and pen to paper and brain to fingers and writing. That's what living in your intention looks like. It does not look like the heavenly choir singing and everybody's in white flowing robes with little halos on their head eating cupcakes. Okay? That's birthday parties. That's not intention. And the cupcakes, like, give you a sugar hangover anyway. Okay? And so, and what I realized today, I had a big conversation this morning, and then I was talking with my husband afterwards. I was like, in living in my intention, leadership through love, Leadership through love, for me, looks a lot like gentle daring. Not like, I double dog dare you. That is not leadership through love. Leadership through love is what is daring do? What is that edge that you can see that will create change? And you don't know whether that change is going to be, quote, good or, quote, bad. Decision making and daring to make a decision will always leave you stepping out without a net. Okay? I want you to envision, for those of you who have seen the third Indiana Jones movie, okay, where Indiana Jones, like, there's this precipice and he steps and he believes, he has, in this case, faith that the bridge will be there, and the bridge appears under his feet. And he's going across this, like, big old chasm, right? Iterative change comes when you decide to believe with no net, that you look at what worked, what living in your intention looked like that day, right? What not living in your intention looked like, and what the hell you're going to do differently look like. And making sure that what you're going to do differently looks like your to-do list for tomorrow. It gets put on the calendar and it gets executed. That's what it looks like. That's what iterative change looks like. And it takes daring to do that, whatever your possibility is. Because being the person the universe is calling you to be takes daring. It takes boldness to be who you are. Because we're told our whole lives who we are isn't good enough, and we've got to apply this and lose this weight and do this or drink that to be who we are, and it's just flat not true. We are worthy, we are lovable as who we are, and if you don't believe that for yourself, borrow my belief in you. Just step into it like you're putting on a shirt or a pair of pants that you look fabulous in, and it is the clothing, okay, of your mind that says, I am 100% lovable, I'm 100% worthy. And find out what daring would do when you have that mantle on. What does daring do? How does daring look at your day? How does daring look at your intention? Because it takes a lot of bravery to tell yourself the truth. Okay? It takes a lot of bravery if you're in business to look at your numbers. And it wasn't until I developed that bravery last year and I started to learn that my numbers are neutral. Okay? What my business has in numbers, in the bank account, in debt, in equity, in whatever, it's 100% neutral. And I can use it to beat the tar out of myself. I can use it as a platform for growth. I can use it as a way to brag. I can use it as a way to do whatever it is that I want. And you know what I want? I want to build sustainable regional agricultural systems. That's what I want to do. Right? I want to build us a way where we have all the possibility in the world to feed and care for each other because I gave you floors, walls, and ceilings and the know how to use them. And I will be vulnerable to anything to bring that about, right? And you've seen that over the past 6 weeks. I absolutely will be. And it's my privilege and honor to bring this and to do this in the world. Because this is truly what I am called to do. And I love doing it. I love having the conversations. Guys, I love teaching meat and poultry HACCP. But how many of y'all can say the true crucial work that you do in the world you really love doing? You know, not everybody gets to say that. And it's a real privilege. And I've structured a lot of my life around that intention. And so the after action process at work looks a lot like, did I do what I said I was going to do? And if I didn't, what was my intention behind that? Because even if you don't know what your intention was, You had an intention there. Like that's how intentionality works, right? And if you want to dive deep on this, I highly recommend my friend's book. It's called Being is the New Doing, and I'm pretty sure it's available over Amazon. And it's by Radia Rhodes. And if you're Facebook friends with me, she is also Facebook friends with me, and you can, like dive in and probably find her. Being is the New Doing, and it's all about intention. And the intentionality with which we bring to our whole entire lives. And that's how you do iterative change. And then what you do, like, it's all based on the observation process. What did you observe? Did you observe yourself living in your intention? How or how not? And then asking yourself if you were looking for different results. If you were looking for a different result, what does that result look like? Why don't you have that result yet? And the reason that you don't have that result yet is because you're not having the thoughts that create the result. The reason I haven't created the scalable business that I want is frankly, honestly, because of a thought I found the other day that abundance in business is available, but it's just not for me. It's clearly not for me. Look at all this evidence that I have of that. And I never would have found that thought if I wasn't continually asking myself what I think about money, how I approach money, how I approach my business. And as if I didn't continually approach it as an infinite game. So that's another book recommendation, which I know I've made before, but Simon Sinek's Infinite Game. Okay, your work is an infinite game. The challenge of making yourself better at work is an infinite game, and allow it to be. Allow the challenge to make you stronger, because that's amazing. Choose that challenge. Choose to be daring. Choose to look at your intentions and to do the after action process at work, and it will change everything about your working life. And isn't that really what we're all looking for? I am the daughter of an IBMer, right? And my dad's identity was completely wrapped up in his job at IBM, right? And he had so much pride, and he had so much, and he did so much good work at that job, right? And then everything went to pot in the mid-90s, and it was before Lou Gerstner came in and brought them back from the brink of bankruptcy. But by then, my dad was gone. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. And that, I think that's the truth of so many of our fathers. And for those of you who are of a different generation, so many of our mothers, because I'm not quite of the generation where my mom didn't go back to work really full time until I was a junior in high school, and then I was out of the house, and I didn't think she would agree with me on this. She never really developed her identity through work in a way most men do. I mean, I can count on one hand with fingers left over, probably, the number of men I know whose identities are not through their job. But there is a much larger and it's a beautiful set of men that I know who are figuring out how their identities are not through their job, and it's amazing to watch that development, and I love watching that development because it creates so much promise for so many. But it's because they allow themselves to be open to the iterative change process. And that's what I really wanted to do. I remember being in my dorm room at Wellesley the second semester of my freshman year when I found out my dad was getting laid off. And something in me right then said, that will never be me. I will never be in a position where somebody has that level of control over me. And so I run my own business, and I've created everything. My whole intentionality around my life is to create a foundation where if that happens and it all goes away, I know how to rebuild. You could take it all away from me right now. You absolutely could. And I would know how to rebuild. I was taking a look at my numbers, and I built a coaching practice in 18 months to $140,000. Okay, it's a subsection of the consulting business, right? That didn't exist a year and a half ago. And I breathed it into existence and I worked it into existence. Well, that's phenomenal. And I'm super proud of that. But it doesn't define me. But man, how much have I grown from that? And how much have I learned and led and loved that product into existence? And so you could take it all away from me, and I know I can handle it. And I know, and I'm not afraid of any pain. I'm not afraid of any pain or humiliation, and Lord knows I have had them in building sustainable regional agricultural systems. And it really is just that very first thing of not being afraid of the negative emotions, and that's how you set the stage for iterative change, is you settle in and you don't let yourself be afraid of negative emotions. Do that at work, and things will start changing for you tomorrow. All right, that's what we've got for today. A bit short today, but I got lots of things going on. And you are completely beautiful. All of this stuff is archived over on the YouTube channel. If you are in the food business, join us over on the Proofing Box. If you want to take this work further, I am open for coaching. You know where to find me. You can book a consult. It's all available on the Durago Food Safety page. I'm pretty easy to find. Send me a DM, whatever it is that you need to. We'll book a call. All right. I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.